Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Little Big Man. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you are new, welcome to my channel. I do Newcastle content that I upload on a Friday, or I try to anyway. I'm getting back into that routine, but yeah, obviously last week I'd said it was a bit of a two-part. Last week we'd obviously done the keep, sell, loan list. This is part two of who I think we should bring in and analysing our transfer targets. So obviously our team of the season is as follows. Obviously Pope, Trips, Share, Botman, Byrne, Longstaff, Bruno, Willock, Miggy, Wilson, Maxi. Now, good team, cracking team. Got us top four. I think definitely an overachievement. Obviously you can see the stats here. I'm not going to go through them. If you want to see them, pause the video. That is impressive though. Obviously if we look at the strengths, our style of play and weakness, like you've obviously a weakness, avoiding offsides, so a lot of that is Miggy. But obviously you can see our strengths, attacking set plays, counter attacks, defending set pieces, which I think dropped off a little bit, protecting the lead, creating long shot opportunities, aerial duels, creating chances through individual skill. Obviously you can see it all there. Style of play. Now this is an interesting one because this obviously will depend on who we sign. So obviously we've got attempt through balls often, as you know, obviously especially down that right side with Miggy and Trips. Definitely a lot of it there. Obviously attempt crosses often, so obviously, you know, especially with Trippier on that right hand side, we want to get plenty of the that's why he's got 7 assists, plenty of those crosses into the box. Nick Pope, 1 red card, that's depressing. Control the game in the opposition's half. We like to keep the ball, pass it around well, attack through the middle. We can do that quite a lot, hence why we take a lot of shots, a lot of long shots. We've got a consistent first 11 and our opponents will play aggressively against us. So that's our style of play. Obviously strengths, stuff like that. Now, obviously we finished 4th in the league, which is impressive. Heavily impressive. Obviously, as you can see at the top of the list, we've got our targets, rumours, all that palaver. There's a hell of a lot of more people I could have put, but I thought I don't know, really, it's basically, I just had a quick flick through, see who I could see. Obviously I've taken a few off that would have been linked to us had there not been here we goes, transfers, blah blah blah. Manuel Ugart is one of them. He's been given the here we go to PSG. He's a player I would have loved us to sign. Fortunately he's not to be. A couple of others, I'm struggling to think of them off the top of my head, but yeah, as you can see we've got plenty at the top of the list, whether it's transfer links, genuine ones, like Kieran Tierney, we linked with him very strongly. Madison, Zabalai, I don't know how you say his name, Zabaslai I think it is. I do apologise if I butchered that. And then obviously there's a couple of more, I guess, banterous ones, or the ones that you can put a bet on, which definitely are not going to happen, let's be honest, but we will analyse them nonetheless. So, the positions going into the window that we were looking at was left back, right side of centre back, CDM, centre mid, right winger, and then a striker as well. Now I don't know if that's because obviously we've only got 2 strikers now. So obviously we've had plenty of links. We've got the likes of Kieran Tierney, strongly linked for that left back position. Right centre back, you got your 2 options here: your CDMs, your centre mids, right wings, and strikers. With a few of them, they can play different positions as well, so it's quite nice. But we will have a look through all of them, and I've got a bit of analysis. So we're looking at Kieran Tierney first, who can do a job in left back or centre back. Obviously, I'm guessing a left side of the back 3. I don't know a great deal about how these teams tend to play, but we will have a look nonetheless. So his strength is holding on to the ball, with his weaknesses being aerial duels and tackling. Now his strength works perfectly for us because we are a possession based team. We do like to keep the ball a lot. Um, and it is obviously something that we do want to. We are wanting to obviously maintain. You know, possession can win games, and you can dominate teams a lot better. Um, Obviously, his weakness though is aerial duels. We win a lot of aerial duels, so my bet would be obviously if it was to be a corner and attacking set piece, he'd possibly be one of the ones taking the set piece. But obviously, considering a lot of the links and plays we have in the team, it wouldn't exactly be the case. He'll probably be back defending. However, his weakness is tackling, which could affect us in a way. He does not dive into tackles as well as his current style of play, which doesn't exactly work for us. So obviously he made 21 substitute appearances. He's made 15 in left back, 2 in centre back. This is just from last season, I should say. This is all from last season's stats. Obviously for Scotland, he's is where he excels, but that's where he's going to get, I guess, a bit more game time / minutes, or more consistently anyway. Actually, I'm lying. There's Andy Robertson. I'm chatting shit. Ignore me. Nobody forgot. But yeah, obviously, as you can see, Europa League is where he's getting his best, I guess, game time. Or more regular, I guess, obviously, because Arsenal have obviously rotated their squad for the cup competitions, which they didn't get too far in, which I think, obviously, looking back, will be a regret of theirs. But yeah, he's had plenty of game time in the Premier League. Not as well, I guess I say plenty. Based on this, plenty. But obviously, you look at the minutes, 779. Not ideal. And obviously, his injury record has kind of hampered that as well. Hence why I think Villabro and Zinchenko as well is obviously someone who can be a bit more of a consistent performer in that left back position. He can also play left midfield, which would be interesting. Obviously, we look at his offensive stats. Key passes per 90. You look at an average of 0.3. Attacking wise, decently, he would do a much better job than Dan Burn, who is traditionally a centre back. Obviously, we do play a back 3 tendency, which we could still also do with Teeny at the back. Defensive wise, though, 0.9 tackles per game, 0.4 interceptions per game, 0.2 fouls per game. Offsides. Offsides 1, right, yeah. So that's not too bad. Clearances can do pretty well with those. Obviously, his mainly will just be wanting to obviously deter those wingers, and he's got a bit more pace than obviously Dan Burn. Another one that was mentioned is Adrian Trufer. Not being great links to him, but I have seen a few things about why we should get him. He is younger. His injury record, I've been told, is a lot less worrying. Plenty of minutes in this season as a left back, left mid, or a left winger, or sorry, a left wing back. My apologies, or a left winger. He played a game there, which I'm quite confused by, but fair play. So he can basically move up that left side, which is brilliant. Has no significant weaknesses, which is perfect. Strengths of passing, key passes, blocking the ball, and his concentration, and he likes to play short passes. That could be a bit of a problem with us, obviously, because we do like to play those through balls. But with the fact that we have like a left winger and then the left centre mid will tend to like underlap with that left winger, it probably is going to work a lot better. I will just ramble a lot in this video, so I do apologise. So I guess out of the two, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take Trufer. I think I prefer Trufer. Injury record and his game time's a lot better, and I think he's younger, so we can, I guess, mould him in a lot better, and he's got a bit more potential. So he is one that I'd see us bring in, but I can see us bringing in Teeny instead. Centre back positions. Now we're being linked with Harry Maguire and Kim Min-jae. Kim Min-jae is more likely going to Man United. His 60 mil release clause becomes available on the 1st of July, which is a shame because he's had a good season. And if we look at his defensive stats before we move on to strengths and weaknesses, he's had plenty of minutes, plenty of game time. 1.5 tackles per 90, 1.4 interceptions per 90, 0.8 fouls. Not too bad. Could be a bit better. 0.6 offsides, 1 with 3.4 clearances per 90. He's had a pretty good season in fairness if we look at his passing stats as well, because we do like a ball playing centre back. Key passes per 90, 0.2 with the average pass of 76.6. Good pass success rate as well, with 3.4 long balls per game. Obviously we know Shea likes to play those balls over the top for the likes of Joel and Maxi, stuff like that. So he would be a good player to bring in. He is hitting towards his peak years as well, which is why I think he will have that 60 mil release clause. Obviously his passing is very strong. Aerial duels, ball interception, concentration are also strong points in his game, and he likes to play short passes, which, considering Eddie likes to play those longer balls, obviously could be changed, but I think he's a good player for us to bring in, which could be a shame. But obviously with him likely to come into the club, it could be more likely for Harry Maguire to leave the club, hitting the later stages of his career. So he is one that we probably will retain for a few seasons. He's had a decent bit of game time. 15 as a substitute, 25 with 1 assist without. I think, am I correct in saying that? Or is that just 25 in general? We have a look at his defensive stats. 0.6 tackles per 90, 0.7 interceptions per 90, 0.8 fouls. So that's a bit of a problem. He's got more fouls in his locker than tackles and interceptions. Decent amount of clears per game, which we didn't want to clear it. We wanted to pass from the back. So that's not a worrying stat. If we look at his passing stats as well, 1 assist, 0.1 key passes per 90, 45.5 passes per 90 with a pass success rate of 86, 3.5 long balls per game. Obviously in the Man United shirt he has struggled quite a bit, which is obviously a bit of a concern for us as we look at his strengths and weaknesses. Strength, aerial duel would be perfect for us. Discipline is obviously a bit of a concern, but I think we could maybe calm him down a little bit. Style of play, he likes to play those long balls, which would be a perfect change for Shea if we were to ever drop Shea and bring in Maguire. And he's an indirect set piece threat, which is fantastic, because if we were to have someone that Trips could aim for in a set piece, that would be fantastic. We could get Maguire a fair few goals, in all honesty. Obviously, the thing is, I see Trippier make a lot of crosses, so a lot of them will hit the first man. But I think realistically, if you're making a lot of crosses, if you're getting a lot of assists, you're the best fucking crosser in the game, really. So, but yeah, a lot of I guess game time, considering how much criticism he does get. And he would be a good player to bring in. I think because of the price tag, I think Kim Min-jae is probably a bit out of our reach, considering Man United are also targeting him as well. So I think Maguire could be the one to go for out of the two. And we are looking to bring him in on loan, which wouldn't be a bad shout. I'd be happy to take him. CDM, so we're looking at the likes of Declan Rice, who, like I said at the start of the video, we can bet on him to come to Newcastle. He's unlikely. He looks like he'll go to Man City at this rate. Calvin Phillips, who we link to, and especially if Rice goes to City, we could end up bringing him in. And Moises Caicedo, who's linked with Arsenal, not really linked with us, but he is, I think, 30 to 1 odds of him to coming to Newcastle. I think it was something like that, but yeah, so he could be a 1. Obviously, Declan Rice would be the preferred option. Any team in the world would take him, I say. He's a fantastic player. He's plenty of game time, plenty of minutes. Good goal contribution for him. Obviously, he can do the job in CDM and centre mid. No significant weaknesses, which is perfect. Passing and long shots to be his attacking strengths. Ball interception, his concentration to be his defensive strengths. Likes to play long balls, and he likes to shoot from distance, which would be perfect to fill into that 6th role to allow Bruno to be freed up the pitch, would be fantastic. But considering we're stronger linked to the more like attacking sentiments, it looks like we could be keeping Bruno as a 6. I don't know. I think we should free him up personally, but he can do a fantastic job as a 6. Um, but yeah, obviously we look at his defensive stats, because obviously he'll be coming. If he was to come in, he'd be more the defensive midfielder. 2 tackles per game, 1.8 interceptions per game, 0.5 clearances per game, 0.4 blocks per game, and 0.5 dribbles blocked per game. Good defensive stats, very good defensive stats. Obviously, as well documented throughout the season, he's a fantastic player. He's definitely a world beater. Obviously, his passing stats as well: 2 assists, 0.9 king passes per 90, 57 average passes with a good success rate as well. 3.9 long balls, so that would be good to get the ball out wide for us as well, to the likes of Miggy, Maxi, or whoever we bring into the fold. Sorry, I was just reading Twitter there. But yeah, so offensive stats as well, because obviously with Bruno in the 6, he does push forward a few times. 6 goals, 2 assists is a pretty good return for him. 0.8 shots per game, which is decent in fairness for a number 6 defensive midfielder kind of thing. That's a very attacking return. 0.9 key passes per game, 0.8 dribbles, and he's fouled 0.3 times per game. However, the dispossessed is pretty decent and fair, so he definitely could, I guess, play under pressure well. However, he does have, I don't know, I'd say that's pretty good. The 0.7 bad control per game. That's a random stat, randomly worded stat, I should say. Anyway, but yeah, so he will be a fantastic one to bring in. However, he's unlikely to join us, and I think Caicedo is also unlikely to join us. We will run through his stats quickly. No significant weaknesses. He likes to do layoffs and commit fouls. Oh, he commits fouls often. Sorry, it's a style of play. Strength is holding on to the ball, aerial duels, passing, tackling, ball interception. So he can also do a job in right back, which is a good bit of rotation for us. He's got some decent defensive stats. I'll not run through, because like with Rice, it's highly unlikely to happen again. So we are more likely to go for Calvin Phillips in that 6th role. Problem is his aerial duels and his discipline. However, he's good with direct free kicks, ball interception, blocking the ball, and tackling. He's a very good defensive midfielder, so definitely would free up Bruno a hell of a lot. He likes to play long balls off the ground. He gets fouled quite often. He likes to shoot from distance, and he loves to commit fouls and get himself into a tackle. He's not had much game time, as he should have been getting, personally. 24 games of 463 minutes, I think, is a bit poor. Defensive, we'll be looking at his stats. Not too bad. Obviously, if you look at the likes of Rice has a lot more defensive stats, but Rice likes to get himself around the pitch, fucking everywhere, essentially. Passing wise, pretty poor. I think that's because of his lack of game time, personally, which I think has kind of hindered this. Oh god, excuse me. And obviously, attacking wise, not the best either. But like I say, I think that is to do with the fact that his lack of game time will hinder him a bit. He is a good player, don't get me wrong, and I think if we were to bring in a 6 out of the 3, he would be the one. Let's get rid of all these to free up. So midfielders. So we've been recently linked with Nicolo Barella, with a 50 mil bid being worked on. Would be a fantastic achievement. With centre mid being his only position, he has no weaknesses. There's no style of play as of note. Key passes is very strong point, which would be fucking perfect to play through. Through balls as well, it would work brilliantly if we typically play him on the right side. So him, Miggy, and Trips, or whoever we linked with that we may bring in. his passing and his direct free kicks. So he could be a set piece one. So he's one to rotate with Trippier or any future targets. Yeah, as you can see, 52 appearances, 3,681 minutes with 9 goals, 6 assists to return, 1.1 shots per game with a pass success rate of 84.1. So we look at his passing, which would be the main focus of obviously the midfielders. Now, he's got 1.4 key passes per game, 39.6 average passes per game, which, considering he's more of a, I'd say he roams with the ball a bit more, as we can see with the offensive stats. He's got 1 dribble per game. He gets dispossessed quite a bit, so I think he is probably one that'll probably try and charge and push forward with the team, which helps us a lot because our style of play is tend to push forward, and if we lose the ball, we can counter press quite quickly. So it could be a one for that perfectly. Some decent stats all around. If we look at his defensive stats as well, decent there as well. As obviously, like I say, for the counter pressing, it could work out. It'd be a fantastic addition to the team. But yeah, 26-year-old, he's hitting his peak years. 50 mil, I think, would be a fantastic signing. I've seen reports that he likely wouldn't join it for 50 mil. But yeah, we'll have to see how that progresses there. Another strong league, Dominic Szoboszlai. I have butchered that, I do apologise once again. So he's a good all-rounder, so we can play him in centre mid. However, he hasn't had the best of games there. We can play him right mid, right attacking midfield, central attack midfield, left attack midfield, and right wing. So I think typically it's going to be this right side we're going to play him. Right centre mid, right wing, right attacking mid kind of thing. Crossing is a very strong point, which would be perfect for us. Oh, I'm so fucking tired, Jesus. 3 balls as well, so he can play some balls through to our striker Wilson Isak. Or if he was to play a more centre mid role, he could play it out on the left as well. Dribbling, long shots, sort of similar to Miggy as well. He's a good set piece taker, which, like we'd seen with Barella, could be a one to rotate. Looks like it seemingly looks like we're bringing in another set piece taker. I don't know if that's to take the pressure off of Trips or to try and get a more consistent one-on-one for the future. I don't know. He's a good counter-attacking threat, which is perfect for us because of our counter-attacking style of play. There's offensive stats, sorry, if I click the right one. So obviously his minutes of games pretty good. 11 goals, 10 assists. So 10 plus in each of those would be a fantastic return for us. Obviously you can see the other ones. I'll try not to go too much into detail because I already rambled for 23 minutes. Obviously we look at his passing stats as well. Some pretty good passing stats there. Defensively as well, if we were to counter press or if he were to play in that centre mid role, could do a decent job there as well. Obviously he did win the DFB Pokal against Eintracht Frankfurt, getting a goal himself in that match. So obviously, as you can see, once again, discipline is his weakness, which is a bit of a fucking recurring theme now I think about it. He will be a fantastic signing to make. However, a 70 mil release clause could hinder slightly because of the fact that we aren't wanting to spend that 70, and we are wanting to try and spend smartly during this window. Next, James Maddison, another one we've strongly linked with, and it's between us and Tottenham for Maddison, and it looks likely that he could be joining us the way things is going. If we look at his characteristics, style of play, gets fouled often, likes to cut inside, which would be perfect if he is playing that right wing role. Likes to play long balls, plays the balls off the ground often, counter-attacking threat as well, which is perfect for our style of play. Got good finishing, good long shots, good set pieces. You can hold on to the ball well. However, aerial duels is a weakness, so obviously with him being the set piece taker, he likely won't be involved. Obviously, similar to Szoboszlai, centre mid, right side, with an occasional bit on the left. But he will more likely be the right wing / right centre midfield position. I'm not entirely sure what the plan would be from there. I would assume more right wing than right centre mid. If we look at his stats, 10 goals, 9 assists, and a pretty poor Leicester side is impressive, I'd say. As you can see his stats along the bottom here, some pretty good offensive stats, some pretty good passing stats as well. He tends to more play the attacking balls, killer balls, long balls kind of thing. Be a fantastic signing to make. Now, realistically, at this point, we're hitting the more unrealistic ones, but the ones that I joked about, / meme, / the ones you can bet on. Neymar. Realistically, any of these attackers here at the top you see, I'm taking fucking any of them. But we are going to base it off of stats and the fact that most of these are pure pricks. I say most of these two egos wouldn't exactly work, wouldn't be ones Eddie Howe would actually sign based on his I guess mantra. Got injured late in the season, so obviously he hasn't played in a while. Style of play, gets fouled often. He likes to do layoffs, likes to dribble, likes to cut inside. So mainly this left side he'll be playing, which would be a fantastic change from Maxi. As you can see, his stats, 20 goals, 14 assists, pretty good. I'm not going to go too much into these. If you want to see him, pause him. We ain't going to sign him, so... But yeah, he would be a fantastic signing to make. It's just his ego and wages. We'll look at Mbappe as well. We'll get rid of the unrealistic ones first, which realistically, I guess technically leaves one or two. One, really. Leaves Moussa Diaby, which we'll look at last. Mbappe, fantastic return. Defensively, lazy as fuck. Wouldn't work for us. Attacking wise, good stats. Passing wise, good stats. Left wing striker is, I guess, the way to go with it. Obviously, you got styles, player characteristics, blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna entertain this too much because we ain't gonna sign him. Pause it if you would like. Same with Harry Kane, fantastic return. Passing, fantastic. Attacking wise as well, good return. Defensively as well, he can do a little bit because he does tend to drop deep in that striker role. Defensive contributions is his weakness though, but obviously he does defend, drop back a little bit, so he could be decent. I'll let you pause again if you would like to see those stats. I ain't going to entertain the idea because we ain't going to sign him. Victor Osimhen, we were linked with last summer. The price tag did put us off. His price tag will have increased this season due to a fantastic season. We look at his strengths, weaknesses, style of play. That doesn't help us a lot because one of our weaknesses is offside, and obviously fantastic striker. You can see his return here offensively, some good stats. Passing wise, decent stats, could be a bit better. Defensively, obviously not. I guess the better, decent for a striker. I guess I don't really know. But yeah, once again, I'm not going to entertain the idea. Strongly linked with Man United. So, yeah. Pause it if you would like. Finally, Moussa Diaby. A one we've been linked with quite a bit the past season. Not many links reoccurring. Not entirely sure what the thought process is, but about not bothering this time. Obviously, we look at his attacking stats, fantastic. 14 goals, 9 assists for a winger is brilliant. Passing wise, some good stats as well. I'm not going to entertain it too much because the links did die down quite a lot. So yeah, like I said, pause it if you want some to look properly. Obviously, right wing is his best position, as expected. Why do I keep going? Fucking hell, I need to sleep there. Strengths, through balls, finishing keys passes. Weaknesses, aerial duels, discipline, defensive contribution. likes to do a little counter-attacking threat. Doesn't have any tackle, so it would be a fantastic counter-attacking threat with that pace he has. Um, but yeah, so if like I definitely would take him. Problem is, obviously, the links have died down quite a lot. So, it'd be interesting to see what would happen with that. Obviously, out with the attacking ones, I think Diaby is probably the one. Although, technically, we're looking at the likes of Zabazlai, Madison, who can play in that right wing role as well. That's my alarm I forgot I stuck on because I'm going to go and watch a Spider-Man film later on. I completely forgot about that. I probably should have turned it off. But yeah, so that's our links. Obviously, I didn't want to do the video as long as I have. But as I was doing my research, a lot more names popped up, and I thought, obviously, in a jokey sense, I could add a few of them. Probably shouldn't have in theory, but yeah, well. But yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts in the comments on which of these you think we should sign. And yeah, who else you think we should go in for, and who else I've missed. Thank you very much for watching. Adios.